Our sons have never been encouraged to join the business, or in Tom's case, daughters. It will happen if it happens. There's no promise. One thing I think that makes it easier for us is the discomfort is something that our father had to go through. He had a brother who at one time was in the business. And Tom and I have another brother. He lost all his races to Mark Spitz. He ended up at Stanford Medical School and then Harvard, and unfortunately lacked the brains to make boxes. So we're carrying it. Okay, the last part is not true. But those are other issues that you have in a family business. And it's something that our father recognized. And the question is this. Every day for 30 years, Tom and I have gone to work in the family business. And for most of that time, our father was there and we were building his estate. Our brother wasn't doing that. What should my father's estate plan be? You get into all sorts of areas of interconnection between your life and the business when you go down this path. But I don't recommend against it.
Tom, how do you think being in business with your brother has changed your relationship as brothers?
Oh. You're right. It's brought us closer together. I graduated from Hope, but I also went to Michigan State, and while at Michigan State, my brother encouraged me to be his fraternity brother of his. So we were in the fraternity together. We played on teams together afterwards. And the irony is that there's I'm sure you can tell, a significant age gap between us. And so we had different friends and all of that during school, and we didn't do all that. But after we're working together, we're working towards a common goal. And the common goal is to try to build the best company that we can. And we have that common goal. It's brought us together. We run the business for the business, not for ourselves, so to speak. And what things happen or come our way is because we're running it for the business, and we're bearing in mind that the lessons we learned from our father was to look at the business as itself and try to think of yourself as an employee of that business rather than as an owner. And that served us well. And what we did that was a little bit different, and we invited our employees in to be owners with us. Well, we had an ESOP. So I think because of those things, and because we played on the teams and we had friends that were in it, it brought us closer together. And we get to see each other a lot, and every now and then we travel in different ways. But the other thing that we know is that I know that he and I can disagree on something, but the disagreement is tempered by the fact that we both, in our heart, are trying to do what's right for the business rather than what's right for us individually. And knowing that, there's a great comfort in that, and knowing that we can disagree and that we can have these arguments or differences, we feel is healthy for the business because we're bringing in a different perspective at that point in time.
Chelsea, you have a foot in sort of both camps here, because you're a daughter working with and for your mother, but you also have a brother who's in the business, so you have a sibling relationship. How has your time in the business changed your relationship with your mother from maybe what you thought it might have been growing up, and your relationship with your brother?
Well, my brother's not here to defend himself, so.
Well, he's in Miami. He's in Miami today on a day it's snowing, so you can
Don't
take
feel
shots
bad
at
for
him.
him right now. I don't. It's easier for me to answer this question about my mom. For some reason, I think that's probably because I don't think our relationship
challenges, Tom, you, I think, alluded in your comments that something like only 3% of family businesses actually make it to a third generation. I've seen that statistic or one similar to it before. So obviously, it's very difficult to transition ownership of a company more than a couple of times, much less the 3 and 4 times that you represent. But Leslie, you're doing something I don't see in all the family businesses that I work with that I think is really kind of special and impressive in terms of what you're doing to prepare your children. And can you talk a little bit about what you're doing as a family and family business to prepare them for the next generation of leadership?
Sure. In the past couple of years, we've changed a bit, I think, and we've owned the fact that we are a family business, and that I do hope that my children, if they desire and if they're capable, will become the next generation, the next leaders of this business. And so I have a plan in place for that, and there are 3 tenets in that, and one of them is that they will never replace a sitting executive. I have to look so I don't pull a Rick Perry. Sorry. That their compensation will be equal to their role in the company. They won't earn any more than their job is worth. And the third thing, let me make sure I've got it, is that I do recognize that they are family and that I'm starting to give them opportunities that go beyond their job responsibility. And when I say that, I mean that the most obvious example is both my son and daughter both just sat in for the first time on our strategic planning, our 3 to 5 year strategic plan for growth. And so that was an opportunity that neither one of their jobs would normally have brought them to, but it gave them an opportunity to start learning a bit about that. And then they each have a development plan. I don't know if you want me to go through that. Okay, so they each have a development plan, and they did not prior to a couple of years ago. And that development plan is different for each of them, and it respects their strengths, but it also looks at what skills I believe and the executive team and my board of directors believe they'll need to ascend to a higher level in the company. So there are rotations, 2-year rotations that they'll go through and learn different areas, different jobs at Metal Flow. The second piece of it is for both of them is an education piece where we're looking for outstanding programs that they can attend and latch onto. That could be as much as an MBA program, or it could also be the University of Michigan offers a month-long intensive executive training program. So we'll coordinate outside education pieces with their internal offerings. And then the third thing is a piece where we ask them to be out in the community. We ask them to participate in nonprofit organizations or take advantage of different programs that are available, like leadership training. And Chelsea has just started that. If you don't know what that is, maybe that's a good time for me to tell you that. Leadership Hotline and leadership training. Sorry. Do I need to comment on that?
Only if you want.
Cindy says yes. She's eyeing me. From my perspective, kind of putting these plans in place is one of those be careful what you wish for moments, because my brother and I think both felt like a plan would be a really great thing, and we could kind of know what we need to learn and take steps one at a time, and kind of have a little map of our future, our progress. And my mother and her executive team really latched onto that idea and got a little creative, so creative that one of my most recent tasks was to spend several months working outside of the family company at another local family business, learning not only a new job title, project management, which I'm in now, but also experiencing another corporate culture and meeting a lot of outstanding people at this company, and learning about myself probably a lot and who I am apart from Metal Flow. So.
Judd, either of you want to comment on what you've done in your businesses to prepare next generation? We talked a little bit about that.
we spoke to it, and it's, there were no promises made to Tom or me. And one of the things that's disconcerting in my relationship with my brother is that he asks me about every year whether we should hire a different president.
Not lately.
But, you know, the issue of owning the business and working at it is remembering in a moment which one you're doing. And I think that's one of the things that sometimes prevents a transition beyond the first founder and generation of a family business. You need to know whether you are evaluating the company as an investor and owner of it, or whether you are performing an executive